we love the interest in the project that the community has shown, and the activity that they've brought. Um, we definitely, in our new direction with the platform, like I said, we're talking about developing more social fi and quests and stuff like that. We've been approached by lots and lots of projects, to do, quests and things like that, like some other of the tapping apps have done. But we're very selective, with those that we did choose, um, because we do, value our community, and we don't want to just, you know um, tag our name to some project that is going to, steal your info, or that is going to pump and dump on you. Um, we want to definitely make sure that we only attach our name to, to quality projects. We did do one with the Woof token. And they are a big community as well. They've grown exponentially. So yeah, we're still looking forward to being able to, open up the lines of communication better with the community. Like I said before, because we realized that there was a little bit lack of that, and the team has brought me on, to help out in this manner, right? So, going forward, we look for a lot better and more clear, information posts, and community involvement, where you guys can get your feedback to us, and we can help implement that in game.
So John, speaking of community, so there are people. So the way people participate is that they play the game, right? But are you currently hiring? Is there a possibility that some people could transform from players into employees or team members?
I'm, you know what? There's always a opportunity, right? Like, that's how I got involved in the space years ago. It started out as, just a friend of some guys and a player, on certain things, certain aspects, and then, jumped into helping out a little more, learning and jumping into, helping out a little more. So, um, if somebody has something specific that they think they might, be able to contribute, um, they can reach out to us. Um, they can reach out to us. I guess, it's hard to filter through all the spam on, Twitter, Messenger, Instant Messenger there, but they can reach out to us as best they can, through that way, and plead their case on why we should hire them if there is. But maybe it's something that we're going to look at, putting out there, maybe a more official way for somebody to reach out to us if they think they have something to offer, whether it's with marketing or, we're pretty set on devs right now. But there's always room. Who knows what the future is going to hold and what it's going to bring, and what we might need going forward. So it doesn't hurt to reach out, for sure.
John, I got a question. People have been talking about how this mass adoption moment is happening on Ton, and we may never be able to look back and remember what it was like, when crypto was difficult, when it was clunky. Now it's so easy to get into it. And I saw some comments about people saying that there's a lot of games happening on Ton, but no utility. And I want to hear your perspective on this, right? Because I'm thinking of the everyday person, the person that doesn't have any financial, or generational wealth to pass down to their kids, that is struggling financially. Maybe it's somebody in another country that, in an experience you've never had before, where, $5, $10, $100 means the world to them. And I think about
For sure.
Notcoin. I think about the people who played Notcoin just because they could get their hands on a smartphone, and all of a sudden they got airdropped, what to them feels like, maybe thousands of dollars, right? Or thousands of meals. Can you just talk about that, right? Just the actual everyday dignity that people get from the self sovereignty and the ownership of digital assets that they earn just for paying attention, kind of flipping everything on its head from having to pay for a game. Now you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, I think that was you, Ryan, that asked that. Yeah, sorry.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's it's not an opportunity or a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a responsibility that we take lightly. That we are offering this opportunity to some, and this that they might not have, right? Like you said, in wherever around the world, right? We got big groups in Nigeria, in India, in China, all over the world. In some of these areas, that type of money that they can earn, like that people did from Notcoin, can almost be life changing. So there is, there is a sense of duty behind it, behind creating something that's going to be substantial, because I've been involved in some projects before where years ago where you were earning a token and the price of that token pumps, and then it gets exponential, and you're all of a sudden you're making, if you if you keyed it out over a year or a month or whatever, you're making this crazy amount of money. And it's like, okay, well, one, you got to realize it's usually not sustainable to do something like that. And two, it was just something that was so wild at the time. I really feel like it was more Wild West back then. Now, like you said, with it's almost more so, we're more so in bringing in the masses and bridging that gap, that Web 2, Web 3 gap, where people can, flip the script and earn from playing a game instead of paying you, right? Like, how many microtransactions in these Web 2 games are people playing and paying every day, right? Like, I still play this one flipping Marvel one, and like, I don't really put into it, but I know guys that are putting money into it day in, day out, and it's been like 10 years now, right? And it's still successful, and that's the type of longevity that we want. We want to be around. We want to provide utility of the token. We want to provide a platform where there's different ways that you can contribute and possibly earn. It's not an opportunity we take lightly. Like I said, we know there's a duty of care here, and we want to help everybody be successful, even if it is, like those nominal amounts of daily that you could pull in daily. That might be something life changing for somebody else, where they're, like, that's a daily wage. And if it's just a free coffee for somebody else every day and they're happy with that too, then that's great. That's awesome, right? So it's finding that balance and trying to provide a project and a product that can enhance the lives of many people around the world, not just a certain few.
And I just came to a critical realization: is the entire crypto revolution happening because the gamers get upset with lack of digital ownership and microtransactions? Because Vitalik launched Ethereum for a very similar reason, right?
Yeah, and you look at, right, like, if you were involved in the NFT boom of a couple years ago, and how negatively gamers were against NFTs, right? Because they were looking at it, instead of a way where they're getting some value back, they were looking at it, now I'm going to have to purchase this, and it's more microtransactions, right? But I think I've really seen it in posts this past year on X and on different platforms, where that community, like you just said, are kind of coming around, and they're being like, hey, wait, this doesn't mean that I have to spend more money. This means that I can get something out of this, right? I can use this warrior or this shield or this weapon, and then I can sell it, and when I'm done with it, move on to something else and try something different, right? I think the whole Web3 gaming, the gaming community as a whole is still trying to figure out that identity, where where everybody's happy with the future, the way that it's going, right? And stuff like this, stuff like we're doing, and that Ton is doing, is hugely beneficial in that, because we're showing that, you know, there can be value there even from just something simple like this. So like if you worked it into the bigger, you know, the bigger Web3 games or AAA games or whatever, it you know, I think the world, you know, the world's our oyster for the future. Like I think there's really no place that this can't go, you know.
I want to give credit to one of our listeners who added a comment to what you said, John. He said, no lies. A lot of gaming projects with no utility. It's not worth users' time and consuming resources. A lot of founders just want to solve their generational problems, not really for their users. And I just couldn't agree more. Right, John?
Yeah. Yeah, 100% for sure, right? Yeah, we're fully, you know, like we're fully community oriented and focused, and you know, we could have, and we could have just made our quick money and ran, and we're not. We want to help everybody find that generational, doesn't have to be generational wealth, but generational maybe change or direction for them, for themselves, for their family, where, you know, it might open an opportunity to another project or something else that continues to grow the space and as a whole, and we all, you know, end up benefiting in the end.
I wanted to ask you about the NFTs, if you don't mind. It's, you know, interesting point of discussion, and community asked a bunch of questions about that. Do you plan to have NFTs at any point be created by you and be a part of your ecosystem?
No comment.
Okay, I'll just leave the announcement as no comment. Breaking news as no comment. It also works.
Yeah, you know, I can't say that we're, you know, I can't say either way. Who knows what the future holds? You know, like I said, we've already had to be very liquid and change on the fly, make some moves, and, you know, like some people might have not have done and might have been scared to do. But we're not afraid to make those moves and to be liquid and to have to adapt on the fly, you know. And if that's where the direction of the future is going, then then we might go there. But you know, only the future will know.
It is exciting though. There are so many incredible NFT collections already on Ton. You can find them on Get Gems and some other amazing platforms. The NFT artists, the NFT collection builders on Ton. Shout out to you. You guys are doing incredible work and really laying the groundwork for what is, I think, an untapped, you see what I did there? An untapped opportunity for every project here. With all of these amazing projects that have been exploding, you know, just like TapSwap, and I mean, absolutely, not even exploding, really, like they're nuclear bombs, changing the way that gaming and user experience is happening. It does seem like the next level of where this is headed next is not just, you know, this amazing, cool game with a lot of users, but really a huge transfer of ownership, not only
Yeah.
from the assets themselves, the coins, but also NFTs and soul-bound tokens and experiential tokens. And so it does seem like a logical next step. So your no comment, respect there. Do you want to just give us some of your thoughts in general about, you know, what do you think is possible for people to do once they have acquired their own portfolio or assets of tapped coins? What does this all look like 1 year, 2 years from now? Do you have any sort of ideas there?
1 year, 2 years, you know, like that's what, like 10, 20 years in real life, right? In crypto. So,
Exactly.
yeah, who knows, right? I totally agree with you. I feel like we are on the precipice of like a conscious shift in how the Web3 gaming is viewed and used. And I think only as a collective across the board will we, you know, pave that road together. Yeah, that's a long time, right? That's a long time. Stuff can change really quick. Like I said, that one project, you know, years ago that I was involved in, one day you were making, $1,000 a day from mining this certain token, and then 4 months down the road, it was worth, you were mining $1, right? So it's all relative. So many things can happen that influence our space, right? The states, presidential election, whatever Elon decides to tweet today, whatever happens, wars and whatnot, everything influences this space so much that it's really hard to predict anything, right? So I really find that what works best for us is keeping an open mind and remaining adaptable, and delivering what we can with what we have at the time.
By the way, I wanted to also ask you one question in terms of the airdrop farming, because that was interesting. For people have been asking, how do you ensure transparency and how do you fight bots? Because that's been one of the main issues as well, like with a lot of tap to earn games. So how do you find your way around that, and do you do something about it? Will there be any consequences for people who are cheating, or well, what is your take on that as well?
Yeah, so we touched on that a bit earlier. We do have certain methods in place that we have been using, and we are upping our security in that department as well in looking forward for that. It is, like we said earlier too, it is a part of the crypto space, right? As long as as long as there's been Bitcoin, as long as there's been a crypto, then there's been ways of people trying to scam you out of it, and ways of trying to scam to make it. And man, it can get pretty wild out there. So we do have some methods in place. We are working on more. We do want it to be fair as we can to everybody involved. So nothing will be done rashly, but yeah, like I said, like, it is part of the place. So people say, well, yeah, okay, 53 million users. Well, how many of those users are bots, and how many is this, and da 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 da. Well, is there any way to ever really figure that out? I don't know. But I think all we can do is just do our best with concentrating on what we can control. We can't control what everybody else out there is doing, with building bots and scripts, and like I said, as soon as something new comes out, somebody's figuring out a backdoor to it. Someone's figuring out a way to hack it, to get around it, right? It's almost that cat and mouse game that is never ending. It's just going to keep going, right? So we concentrate on what we can control and what we can do, and we try to do the best of that. Now, listen, guys, it's been a bit over an hour here. I got to get going. I got something else coming up here shortly. If we could wrap it up, that would be awesome, at least on my end.
Yeah, of course, no trouble at all. I think we're gonna go just to the couple last questions, and then gonna wrap up the room. I have a few important ones. One speaking about the tips and tricks that you could share with the audience, in terms of the ones that playing the game right now, that farming airdrop. Is there any way for them to, farm faster and ensure more growth, or something they should 100% pay attention to that is very underestimated and overlooked?
Referrals, share, get your auntie, your grandma, the postman, your everybody, get them, get your dog doing it. My dog always tries to put his paw on the screen and always thinks he knows what he's doing. He just knocks the phone out of my hand. But seriously, do those referrals, get as many people as you can playing. Then you all benefit from that. There is a little trick where you can try and kind of use three fingers at once kind of thing. Sometimes it helps you. Might help you mine it a little faster, but I didn't tell you that. Keep your eye out for more communication from us going forward with the advancements in the platform that we're talking about. There is going to be a lot more opportunity and chances to participate, we'll say.
Thank you for this incredible answer as well, and I appreciate you. Because I think this is very, very helpful for people that are only starting, right? And then for anyone that doesn't know how to start, like I would bet that you have a link accessible in your bio on your profile,
Mhm.
and people can go from there and just find a TapSwap,
Yeah,
or go directly to the Telegram and search for the TapSwap there and find it and start from this point.
yeah.
And also, there is a lot of invites being shared on the timeline too. So, uh,
We take
but for anyone that is,
no responsibility for invitations on the timeline. Be careful. You know, again, we were just talking about hackers and scammers and stuff. You never know when you click a link, right? So make sure you know whose link you're clicking before you click it. Hopefully.
Yeah, let's let John
true,
go
I
here.
agree with you.
John, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It's been absolutely my pleasure, guys. Yeah, I hate to run. It has been a pleasure getting to know you guys a little more and sharing some info. Please, everybody, keep your eyes and ears peeled to our socials for some more information. Like I said, since our devs have tackled the scaling issue and that we had there a little while back, they are head down, nose down, eyes down, full on in the pit, working, developing our future with TapSwap and your future with TapSwap as well. So yeah, keep your eyes out there. Thank you again to the Ton Foundation. You guys have been amazing. Thank you to Victor, Matt, Ryan, and everybody else. I'm sorry, I see Tolas had his hand up there for a while, but you know, we can't get to it all. We got to save some for next time. So
That's
yeah,
right.
keep.
That's right. And when you do,
Go ahead.
yeah, when you do your tokenomics, when you get that out, and when you're doing your launch, let's do this again. Let's break the record for spaces on Twitter and X.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I bet you we could too. Yeah, that sounds good. I look forward to it. Yeah, let's go, guys. You know, it's only done through all of us working together. I think this future. So let's do it together.
And thank you very much on behalf of Ton Foundation for everyone who joined in. Thank you to all our amazing speakers. Thank you, TapSwap. You said you will cook, so we will be holding you up to that promise. We will be following you closely. Thank you very much for building on Ton and Telegram. And please give a follow to all our amazing speakers so you can stay up to date with the latest information on Ton. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. A good chef is only a good chef when he's got a lot of good cooks with him in the kitchen. So let's all cook together.
Let's go. TapSwap, it's a big pleasure. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everyone in the audience. It's been amazing with the TapSwap on Ton. Make sure you share this recording with your friends. If you missed anything, listen back to it. Feel free to clip different uh, time frames from this space and share that on the timeline with your friends as well. I'm going to do that myself also a little later on so everyone has access to the fresh information. I've shared everything on the timeline, highlighting what we've been talking in the space. We're going to see you at the next one, and we're going to dive into more details of what TapSwap is going to be releasing as more updates will follow. Matt, big pleasure. Thank you for being here today with me. Ryan, Jana, appreciate you. Thank you, Luke, for joining us today, and thank you, Tola. Thank you, every single one who stopped by. Alonka, shout out to her as well for doing an incredible job at Tom Foundation. She is your go-to person if you want to connect with other builders, with other mentors. She's incredible. So thank you for joining, everyone. I see you at the next one. Make sure you keep on notifications on Tom Blockchain, on me, on Matt, on Ryan, on Jana, on Jerry Bond, on TapSwap, of course, and then follow for more retweets. And please pay attention to only official channels.